Welcome everyone, welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name is Hanson. Thank you for tuning into this video. I'm sitting in a 2017 Nissan Murano. It's the mid-size crossover from Nissan. They have 6 crossovers and SUVs, count them 6. They have the Juke, they have the new Rogue Sport, the Rogue, the Nissan Murano, the Pathfinder, and the Armada. So for this video, I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Nissan Murano. Let's get started. The good. This being a Nissan, of course, it comes equipped with the Nissan Around View monitor. So that's a system of 4 cameras, the one in the front bumper, the rear bumper, and one under each side view mirror. When you're parking and you are maybe say under 5 miles per hour or so, there's a camera button here. You can just press that and it gives you a feed of the cameras around you, and it gives you a 360-degree stitch of everything around you. So really convenient when you're parking. I had driven the Nissan Titan. You can see that review linked above. It's giant, and parking in narrow, tight spaces, I just press that button and it makes parking a breeze. So the first awesome thing about the Nissan Murano is that that is available. And of course, you need a screen to look at that feature. With the Nissan Murano, you get the 8-inch infotainment screen. Of course, it has the Nissan Connect system. This car also has what's called the zero gravity seats. It's a fancy phrase for a really comfortable ventilated seats. So you can just turn this on and you know it works because there's a slight hissing sound that you'll hear in the background. With the zero gravity seats, the comfortable seats, cooling, heating, it reduces driver fatigue so you can just stay on the road for a longer period of time. Of course, with the heated seats, you also need heated steering wheels. So there's a button here by your left knee, just press that and immediately your steering wheel heats up. If you look up here, you have the power moonroof. The cover slides all the way back to the second row so your passengers can get some more sunlight. If you can recall, Nissan did make the Murano Cross Cabriolet. They don't make those anymore, thank God. But this kind of gives you that same open air feel. It just slides all the way back. There's a lot of natural sunlight in here, and it gives you the same feel without all of that convertible wind noise. If you want a convertible, just buy the Nissan Z and you'll be set. Moving on to the other good stuff of the Nissan Murano, you have the 8-way power adjustable seats, and you also have power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. The cool thing about this is when you turn the car on and off, the steering wheel will return to its home position, and it makes ingress and egress easier just because you have more room to slide your legs in. All right, next let's talk about the power. This being a mid-size crossover means that it needs to carry more people. So if you need to carry more people, you need a bigger engine. And with this one, you get the 3.5 liter V6 with 260 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque. That means that when you mash on the accelerator, you really get that torque. You get that response. It's more immediate than smaller engines, and you can get on the highway much more easily. And that's what driving is all about. When you ask the car to do something, it responds to you. That's when you get that good driving feel. The other part of the power equation is, of course, the transmission. This has the Xtronic CVT, just like all the other Nissan cars. Now, if you watched all the other videos, we're not a big fan of the continuously variable transmission because we found it to be slow to respond, and when you step on the gas, all you get is just a loud sound and not a lot of movement. When the CVT is attached to this torquey motor, it makes it a much more livable transmission while still giving you that efficiency. So in the Rogue Sport and the Rogue, again, those things have only about 140 to 170 horsepower, not a lot of power, and the terribleness of the CVT is amplified because of that. But when it's attached to this really nice motor, it feels like a conventional automatic, and it still has the user selectable gears, which the CVT doesn't actually have gears, but again, this has the simulated gears so that you could downshift a couple and you get that boost of acceleration. Let's talk about the ride quality and the handling. The ride quality of the Nissan Murano is spectacular. I took this through New York City. Of course, New York City has different road surfaces. It's got grates, manholes. It's soaked up all the bumps. And when it comes to handling, I'm driving through New Jersey back roads right now, and it handles like a dream. Now, this isn't a track car by any means. You know, taking this at speed, it doesn't feel like I'm gonna tip over like I'm in a boat. And it feels more taut, unlike some of the taller and heavier SUVs. Again, anyone buying a crossover is not gonna be taking these roads and driving like crazy, but if you want to take the back roads at a little higher speed, this thing can handle it. So there's a lot of good to be said about the Nissan Murano. It's got a lot of great amenities, it's got nice power, and the CVT is actually livable. And of course it has decent ride quality and handling for the size. So let's talk about the bad things about the Nissan Murano. And most of these is going to come down to personal preference. But the one thing that I don't like about the Nissan Murano is the styling. Now, Nissan has chosen the Murano to be the stylish SUV inside and out, but personally, it just doesn't appeal to me. Looking around the outside, again, they have these big swooping lines. It's got the floating roof concept, but all of those styling cues basically just tells me that this is a hopped up station wagon. It looks a bit like a minivan. It doesn't have that traditional, more utilitarian look of a crossover. Again, that's just personal preference. You may like the styling. If you do, let me know why I'm wrong down in the comments below. And also, talking about styling and the inside, I'm also not a big fan. There are these plastic panels that look like it's a combination of a pearl / ivory look, and it just doesn't appeal to me at all. Again, you can tell me I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And when it comes to the steering wheel, I'm not a fan of the shape of the steering wheel. The buttons look a little bit outdated. When it comes to the controls, I like to keep my hands where they are and just move my thumbs around to reach all of the different buttons, but I find that the volume controls and the channel controls are so far apart that I have to keep moving my left hand around, and I just don't like the shape of the steering wheel. Again, that's personal preference, but I'm not a big fan. Let's talk about the ugly part of this car, and I only have one thing to say, and that's this light colored steering wheel. Word to the wise, don't ever buy a light interior car, because now, for this example, this only has about almost 9,000 miles, and already the steering wheel looks like it's been dragged through the mud for several weeks. All the dirt and the grime from your hands, it gets embedded into the grain of the leather. And if you look closely, it just looks disgusting, and you just don't want to touch this on a continual basis. So that wraps it up. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly of the 2017 Nissan Murano. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate you guys watching us. So I'm going to wrap it up. My name is Hanson. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.